Boys, today we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit unpopular today, but I feel like it's just with this year, it makes a lot of sense. And we're going to be talking about collections, whether or not they're worth it, and when you should end up doing them, if you should end up doing them, and kind of talk about the things that I'm doing first before collections and some of the reasons of why I'm going about this and why it just makes sense. Before we get into this video, if you guys don't mind, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub as we're on the road to 10K subscribers. You guys have been killing it lately. We're getting closer and closer to our dream every day, and let's get right into it. So this year, the big emphasis in MLB The Show 23 is that there are seasonal cards. Okay, and so what I'm kind of thinking about, and this is just kind of an open dialogue, is whenever we look at the live series collection, we look at the MLB collection with Derek Jeter, which is max contact with 88 and 99, and this is the collection reward. This card right now is worth roughly 1.3 million stubs, maybe even a little bit more, 1.5 depending on what time of day you are doing this at, but it's just 1.5 million stubs for Derek Jeter, who obviously is a really cool card. Sammy Sosa, who looks really good, but I've heard swings not so great. I ended up playing with a BR series with him. He went 0 for 2. He just hasn't really done that well. And Mark McGwire, which I think is definitely the most intriguing out of these, but has really bad defense, and defense this year matters a ton. And so it's a little brutal to see that he just doesn't have maxed out stats across the board for a first baseman. And we are comparing these cards to some of the cards that are about the same, 1.3 million if we end up getting it done, but even less depending on how much of the program we get done. And that's going to be the set 1 collection cards. Now obviously you can end up getting both, but guys like Mike Trout, this 99 overall Mike Trout that we got on day 1 set 1 is probably a better card than any one of those cards that we just ended up looking at, just because he has such a good swing. He's a 5-tool player. He has 95 speed in center field. He has 85 fielding, and once we end up paralleling this guy up, he is going to end up having 90 fielding in center field with 95 speed. So he's a true 5-tool player, and you can get this card for 114K. So I don't really know. I don't know how worth it is it to end up getting these really big collection cards. On top of that, whenever you end up grinding the set 1 collection choice pack, you're going to end up getting Babe Ruth maxed out across the board. It's not even close. This card is so much better than Mark McGwire, who's a collection reward, Sammy Sosa, who's a collection reward. And all you have to do to get this card is grind Team Affinity and grind the WBC program. You end up getting your first pack of him when you get 140 cards. So I think this will take roughly about a month, maybe 2 to 3 weeks before we end up having this card. And he is going to be gross, and you can use him throughout all of Diamond Dynasty, because although he is a set 1 card, we are going to be able to take a wild on him, and he is going to be able to play the whole year. So I'm just kind of wondering, at what point does it not matter? Chipper Jones, same thing. 115, 125, 121, 125. Like, this card is disgusting. He can play shortstop. And once you parallel him up, he'll have gold fielding at shortstop with 76 speed. And he's a switch hitting shortstop with one of the prettiest swings in the game. And this card is better than Jeter at shortstop. He will hit better than Jeter. He will field pretty fine. And he has the best swing in the game. So Pedro Martinez. He's a pitching card. This card is going to pitch better than any other pitcher in the game. And so what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing, and what I'm going to be doing on the channel, and I hope you guys are fine with this, but I'm going to be going after these guys, and I'm not going to be going after the live series yet. Now, does that mean that I'm never going to finish the live series collection because they are core cards? Of course not. I'm going to end up doing it. But number 1 priority for me and number 1 priority for you guys should definitely end up being the set 1 collection over these cards. Now, these live series cards will eventually end up going down. Right now, they are really, really high. If you look at the live series cards, some of them are pretty brutal. Trout is 280K, and I definitely see Trout getting lower and lower as the year goes on. Now, are some of these going to go lower? Probably. Ohtani, I could see going down. DeGrom will probably stay roughly around the same. Judge could go down, but he'll probably stay roughly around there. Like, these cards are all good and everything, but why would you end up using, if you're saying that you want to use these live series cards, why wouldn't you just go and get their 99 or their better card? Obviously, some of them don't have them. Like Judge doesn't have a better card in the game right now. Eventually, he will end up getting a really good card. But there are a lot of better cards for every single one of these guys. And there's a lot of better options that you can end up getting. Like there's a 92 Corbin Burns that is pretty much just as good, maybe even a little bit better than this Corbin Burns is now. But it's just kind of something to think about this year. And I definitely think I'm going to end up going this route to where I go after a lot of these cards later in the year. And maybe I buy one or two of these big guys now while they aren't horrible. Like Trout at 280 isn't bad. Do I think he'll go down? Maybe. He could end up going a little bit lower, but he's still not that expensive. And I think that he will get maybe a little bit more expensive, but by then there will be more stub flow in the game and it'll be easier to get them. So I just don't understand why you would grind collections right now. I'm not saying sell your cards and put them towards set 1. I'm just saying if you're looking at a priority standpoint, you should definitely end up going for these set 1 cards right now instead of going for collections. And we can end up getting collections later in the year. But whenever I'm grinding my stub method, whenever I'm going after cards to buy, like whenever I bought this Trout, I didn't feel bad about it because I think that this Trout is better to have now than it is to maybe wait 1 or 2 weeks till I get another 100K and I'm able to buy a live series Trout. So I think that this is going to be a lot better in the long run. And for some of you guys who didn't understand what I was saying about wild card, this is what you do. You can use any card from any set and remain eligible. So you can pick one card each year, so we can end up taking that Babe Ruth and we can end up putting him in our squad, and he's going to be 1,000 times better than any collection reward in the game right now. The reason I think that is just because every single year, the reason that the 99 overall collection rewards are so good is because those cards are so much better than every other card in the game. But the problem with that at this point in the game and this year is that there are other 99 overalls that are better than the collection rewards day one, and they don't cost 1.1 million, 1.5 million stubs to end up getting done. So it's not as much of a priority this year as you would think, and I don't want you guys to get screwed over because of that. Boys, I want to know what you guys think about this, so let me know in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more like this, these are just kind of my tips and tricks of what I'm thinking about this year in this game. But if you enjoyed it, drop a like, drop a sub. I'll talk to you boys later. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.